Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. I'm also the North Central Chaplain for Broken Chains JC, and it is my pleasure to be with you here again this morning. So today is June 6th, 2024, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 6. I'm going to start in verse 32. The one who commits adultery lacks sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. He will get a beating, and dishonor and disgrace will never be removed. You know, God has pointed out in the geese never know what'll happen when I go live. I know, right, Rhonda? Yeah, the rain might start, geese might fly over, somebody might drop something. It's crazy what might happen. I might get distracted. Yeah, all of that. So, all of that to be said, God has this conversation with us on a regular basis. Whether it's with the Israelites, any followers. And he says, you adulterous people. And so often when we read Proverbs, we think of adultery only in the form of being outside of your marriage with another married woman. And Solomon actually makes that distinction in your reading today if you've read Proverbs 6. But it means much more than that too, doesn't it? How often are we adulterous? Meaning chasing after something other than what it was that we made our commitment to. Or being entrapped by someone who is in a commitment, but we're chasing after. Or something that is committed that we're chasing after. That's a good thought, isn't it? Something that's committed that we're chasing after. All the cattle on the hills, on 1,000 hills are God's, right? All the wealth of the world is His. It's already committed, and we can chase it. That's adultery. Going after that thing that we want instead of the thing we're committed to, that's adultery. Putting more worry about how we're going to get through this next thing than how we're going to seek the Lord in it. That's adultery. The one who commits adultery lacks sense. Whoever does so sets himself up for destruction or destroys himself. He will get a beating. In other words, you'll suffer the consequences. And dishonor and disgrace. There will be guilt and shame that goes with it. That guilt and shame, this translation says, will never be removed. The literal word there can mean not removed, but it is a picture of that guilt and shame that's wrapped around you being like a greased pig. You're chasing away to capture it, but every time you get a hold of it, it just squirts out of your hands. It's almost impossible That's the imagery that Solomon is painting here. That guilt and shame is so deep and it's so slippery that it's almost impossible to get out of. And one thing I know, the way to capture a greased pig is to wash it. You can wash it even in mud to get the grease to go away. And then you can get a hold of it. Jesus said he will wash our sins. And he did with his blood. It might look messy, but we can capture that guilt and shame and get it out of the pan and start living our life for him. I love y'all. I hope you have a great day. God bless.